formula. This is actually something that was kind of manifested from Grant Cardone. He basically created this formula stating that so many people walk around being average, right? We can't walk around being average when God has given us so much inside of us, so much that we can just birth and get out here and share with the world on a day-to-day basis. But the world is filled with so many average people that it has been accepted as a level of activity, and it's just been the category that most people stay in, right? Most people fall into the average category, and that's why they get stuck there. You got people that you want to welcome to an investor category where they're stuck in their employee mindset because they were conditioned that that was the average way to be. They've set the standards of how you supposed to live your life, and setting the standard was to be average, right? How many of y'all been there? I've been there. I was a average person working 40, I was working like 60, 70 hours a week, going home, tired, go home, sit on the couch, stuff some food in your face, wait till you pass out, go to bed, and do it every single day. You literally became a machine, and not a good machine. You became that old crusty, broke down, need them oil on the ends of your elbows and your knees type of machine. Not a machine out here going out here and taking massive action, right? Being average is a mentality that is basically allowing people to have average actions, average thinking, average and careers and things of that nature, right? The addiction to average kills the possibility of you making your dreams come true. Oh, that's my alarm saying. Right? The addiction to being average, it kills the possibility of you making your dreams come true. Has anybody ever been there? You've been average before. You've noticed that you were stagnant. It could be in any aspect of your life. This ain't just specific towards or geared towards just success, right? The average person reads less than reads less than one book a year. I was that person the year before last. I got so many books now. I got stacks of books for days. I be having so many books in my book bag. Sometimes I be like, bro, there's too much going on, right? I got books for days now. I was driving down the road not too long ago and said a book fair. I got super excited because I saw how much growth has taken place in my life from reading the right material. I ain't saying go get a book about just anything, right? Don't just go read and grab anything. You got to go grab something that's going to gain some value and that's going to pour into your life. How many of y'all have been pouring the right material into your life, into your mind? This is the greatest asset that anybody can possess right here. When the last time y'all read a book? Put the date the last time you read a book. And it's okay if it's been quite some time. That's why we're here, to show you that, wait, well, listen, maybe you weren't around the right person to let you know if you read the right information, it's going to take you on some elevation, right? You read the right information, you're going to start experiencing elevation in your life. Well, the average person reads less than one book a year. Well, people out here who are they're not talented, they don't have a ton of skills, but they have the right information and they learn how to do things a certain way, reading 20, 40, 60 books a year. That's the people who are the 3%. How many of y'all want to be in the 3%? All right, somebody read Monday. Okay, y'all reading. Somebody may not know how to read. It's okay. Find a way to learn how to read, right? We got to get out here and start pouring the right info. Can't be average, right? You got to choose to say, you know what? I want to be greater than the people around me. I want to set an example. I want God to look at me and be pleased that I didn't settle for what the world conditioned me to believe was being extraordinary. Woo! I am going to choose not to settle for what the world has conditioned me to believe has been extraordinary, right? Average doesn't work in any area of your life. Being average doesn't work in every area of your life, right? Average health, average financial literacy, average money management, right? Financial, spiritual, everything you can think of, you're going to be looking like the same person that you're surrounded by. It's too many of us walk around here as duplicates, right? We're walking here as duplicates. We got to start going out here and be extraordinary, taking massive action. Anything you give average amounts of attention to, it will start to subside. And then eventually it will cease to exist. That's why so many people come in here. Oh, I want to learn how to trade. Oh, I want to make $5,000 in 30 days and all that kind of nonsense. Honestly, You don't even have the right proper attention span to achieve real success, right? Because you're giving it average attention. If you come in here with massive attention, guys, that's what I did to be able to retire. Where's my calendar? I shared it last night when I did a trading call. I got a calendar. I did this last year too. This is a whole nother calendar. This calendar right here is a whole nother life plan now. Massive action, massive obsession, 10xing my actions against the next person beside me. Hey, you're going to study an hour a day, 2 hours a day. We both go to work all day. We both sit in traffic. Well, listen, I'm going to sacrifice the sleep. I'm going to take sleep away and I'm going to add study time, right? Well, you want to decide to be average. Well, I don't want to be average. I can actually get there faster. I can get here and learn this information by increasing my action. No excuses. This is a phenomenal book by Brian Tracy, The Power of Self-Discipline. Self-discipline is the key for you to achieve anything you want in your life, point period, hands down. Because if you have discipline, you have patience. If you have discipline, you have gratitude. Discipline is at the rank. This is your chairman, right? Discipline is the chairman of everything you need. You got to conquer that. All right. Anything you give average amounts of attention to will start to subside, okay? And will eventually cease to exist. People say, oh, I want to come in here and learn how to trade. Okay, well, it's a minimum of a 12 to 18 month process. Are you willing to do that type of commitment? Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna come in here and kill this thing. I won't never stop. When I do something, I give massive focus to it. Okay, well, here it is 29 days later. You didn't even make it to your 30-day mark, and I haven't heard from you. You said, oh, it's taking too long, but yet you told me, right? You were willing to commit long term. You were willing for this to really, really work for your life. So instead of you really, really coming here and taking this thing really seriously and committing massive action, you decided to contribute massive action to doing nothing, right? Average thoughts and actions create average problems. Failed companies, failed relationships, mediocre, employees, parenting, right? You're an average parent. You're an average employee. You're an average relationship. When you change your action, you change your life, right? You change your friendships. Your friendships start getting different. Your family started treating you different. Your results will improve. Your confidence will increase. How many people on the line tonight you've experienced progression in your life? And when you experience a little bit of progression, it made you feel good. It made you feel excited. It made you feel confident. You might have got a markup right. You might have won a profit on a trade. You might have did great at your risk management. You might have did great at having a conversation with somebody. You might have had somebody enroll into the academy. You might have just that one little moment. You was like, snap, right? Snap, I did something, right? And how confident you felt when you experience that. That's because you contributed the right amount of action to create those results needed to contribute to your future success and the people around you, right? People assume average means being safe. People assume taking average action and average thinking is living safe, right? No, it's not. You think it's being stable, right? Well, when the economy want to start doing something funny and going a negative way, and the market start changing whatever is going to happen, then you looking crazy because now you realize your life and the way you've been operating is now at risk. But if you will continue to always operate at a level of significance, or a level of abundance, right, you probably would never been a victim to the average problems. If you would have always operated a higher standard, doing more than the average person, when average problems arise, you are not affected because you don't have average qualities, right? So you built up a wall and a stamina and a foundation to when problems and all this stuff going around in the world, you looking unfazed because you like, shoot, I told them to do this. I told them to learn how to trade. I told them to do this so they wouldn't even have to deal with the problems. So now they come calling you when their season starts to shift because they know next time they should have now they know better, right? Now they know better. You got to start getting in here. And when you start taking on trading, my phone about that. When you start taking on trading, you got to learn that, okay, you want to check out one chart a day. Okay, that's cool. Maybe that's what you can do in your schedule, right? Well, how about you start challenging yourself to add the 2, to add the 3, to add the 4, add more things so your life can start improving faster. Now this call is not about just doing massive action and expecting faster results. This is about you taking massive action. So when things arrive in your life, you're not over here looking crazy, right? You're the person who actually are creating the results. You're the person out here being, and I'm not saying nothing's not going to happen to you, but what I'm going to say is that you're going to be prepared when things start happening in your life. People are too influenced by excitement and enthusiasm, right? We get excited. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being excited and enthused, but you can't use that as the reason why you think your idea will work. Just because I said, oh man, I'm going to create this clothing line and it's going to be called, Class Act Denim, and it's going to be about self-love, and I think I got the best idea on the planet. That doesn't mean that your idea is going to work. How is your idea going to work? Can somebody guess? If you have a significant idea, how is your idea going to work? Just because you manifested it don't mean it's gonna take your life to the next level. You got to put in the work, right? You got to take massive action. You can't be an average person. You talk to 2 people a day telling them about your clothing line when you could have talked to 100 people today. But instead of you taking massive action towards your business, you took massive action towards you watching TV, playing around with your fingernails, scrolling social media, walk around the neighborhood looking retarded, right? You got to go around here and take massive action towards what can create the right results you need in your life. We too often optimistically overestimate. Listen to me. Everybody too often, we be super excited and we overestimate how well things will go, right? But then we underestimate how much energy we need to apply. We overestimate how well things will go, but we underestimate how much energy and effort it will take for things to push and start taking itself to the next level. How many of y'all got in here and you was like, man, I'm about to kill this trading thing, man. I'm about to kill this building thing. I'm about to talk to everybody and their mama, right? I'm about to talk to everybody and their mama, and I'm finna kill this thing, right? Well, you started realizing that there were skills that needed to be in place before you go out here and just, ignorance on fire, if you will. There were skills and things that needed to be in place before you actually had a successful conversation or a successful, trade or something like that. And so you were so focused on your excitement and you just knew, and it's okay, guys. I'm not saying not be excited. I'm not saying to be enthused. I'm just saying, don't forget about the work, right? When you share this information, whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you let somebody know, hey, I had a guy text me the other day, I'm a screenshot. I had a guy who found me on YouTube. He was like, he called me and I didn't know who it was. And so he was like, he sent me one message. It said, yo, this is so-and-so from Texas. I just seen your YouTube. Get me to making money tonight as a professional trader. I bust out laughing. I said, hey, so-and-so, how are you? A lot of people, I noticed this too. A lot of people are so excited about their emotions and what they want to take place in their life. They don't even know how to say, hey, how you doing? They just straight to the question. I don't even know you yet. You can't come to me like that. I said, listen, how are you? He said, not good. I need to start making money fast. Okay. Well, I said, well, listen. I said, well, you got to be doing somewhat okay because you're above ground, LOL. And unfortunately, as an investor, what I do is not a quick get rich scheme. It requires time and education. This may not be for you. I pretty much gave him the truth, right? It's going to require time and education. It's going to require commitment. Too many of us walking around trying to showboat, trying to be boastful and saying all this. It ain't about your success. It's about the knowledge and the value that it can be attributed to somebody's life. And if they take massive action, right, then they will get to what they need. It's not, nobody's success is dependent upon you. Right? You can study an hour a day. Well, if you got your fear out the way, if you got yourself out of the way, because some people come here waiting on them to learn how to trade, learning on them how to wait to reach a certain position before they share some information. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You can bring somebody in who's going to blow right past you, right? It's about just sharing information to get the right information to the right people and knowing what type of energy is needed. Like this guy, yo, you gonna have to put time in. And after that message, he said, okay, I have patience. I have patience and I have time. Well, I really don't believe that because you've already showed me who you really are, right? But I'm going to still show you this value and still show you this sauce. But I want to know that I approached you with the right mentality. You got to give yourself and other people the right expectation. Don't walk around here manipulating people. If they can't hang with your momentum, if they can't hang with the way you're committed, then there has to be a season of separation. Listen, you holding me back. You dragging me, right? You dragging me like some old little raggedy shoes on your feet. You need to take a step away from me. If you cannot keep up, I need you to stay in your place, and it's okay to stay where you are. But understand what is required of you to make sure you execute what you desire. Good ideas mean nothing. It's about your work ethic. Me and Simeon can have the exact same idea, like Uber and Lyft, right? Lyft was actually around before Uber. You got Uber and Lyft, same exact type of company. Well, Lyft was doing good, but then Uber came in and started doing all kinds of things. You get a $5, you get a referral, you get that, you get this, right? It's about the work ethic. How many people you can, how many people face can you get in front of? How many lives can you touch? How many lives can you impact? Right? That's what it's about. Work ethic, work ethic, work ethic. If you say if you got a goal, a desire, a dream, and you said, you know what, let's give an example. You want to go, I'll give you my example. Okay. I'm already walking around. Chairman 10 is done. God has already manifested it. He's already said in his word that it's done, right? Well, the numbers say that's 11 weeks away from our goal. That's 5,000 people that need to be contacted. That's 400 and something people a week. That's 90 people per day on a 5-day work week. How specific have you broken down your goals, right? And so when you see that type of work that you need to put out, then you can create the right expectation. Let's say the 11 weeks come up and I don't meet my goal. It's okay, because I know through what? Massive continuous action and repetition, through my strong desire, through me developing my skills, through me being completely patient. Because guys, what's crazy to me is that people get so caught up in complaining and saying, I don't have this, this happened to me, I don't have that, blah, 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 blah. But if you were connected spiritually in knowing that God always supplies our needs, you won't walk around here pissed off and not have no gratitude, right? You should know it's already done, but it already shows your lack of faith, your lack of belief, because if you know he's going to do it for you, why in the world does your word speak the opposite, right? You seem to have more faith in your doubts, more faith than the devil speaking on your shoulder, than you do in knowing that God has already completed the task. All you got to do is speak life into your situation and move in the right direction. How many of y'all can agree? And you start changing your language, you start thinking, you start changing your thoughts, create thoughts of massive optimism, right? Thoughts that have already said it's already done. If you have anybody notice in your life, if you've ever experienced that, when you stop being so negative and you started being more positive things start showing up in your life, right? You start getting positive results. And that doesn't mean that the challenges doesn't arise. It doesn't mean that things still won't happen in your life. What happens is your response, your attitude starts to change, right? I just laid my grandmother to rest just 2 weeks ago, right? But I was still on this call every Tuesday night, standing in front of the hospice people in generational wealth. Do y'all remember me being on a call with y'all 2 weeks ago? My grandmother was in the building behind me, right? Her body is failing. Then a week after that, I still showed up to the call, right? What are you willing? It's all about your mindset and your perception. See, I love God so much that I know she was cool, right? She said, baby, I'm ready. I'm okay. It's going to be all right, because I have eternal life. When you are grounded and you are disciplined in certain those levels in your life, you're not going to respond like no little Tasmanian devil going around here hot-headed and lit. No, chill. It's okay. It's okay. People respond to being broke. Stop speaking brokenness into your life. The science of getting rich speaks to say don't even recognize being broke. Don't even give recognition to that being is something that really exists. Come on. If being broke never really exists, if that's something in your mentality to say that's not even a real thing, well, it will never exist in your life, because you're not allowing it to manifest in your spiritual, in your physical realm. If we started teaching, that book says something so crazy. If we stop just giving charity a sandwich bag and we actually taught them how to create their bread, there would be no need for charity. If we taught people how to go out here and manifest and create the things that they need. If we gave them the bread to their mind, if we fed them the right information, there would be no need for charity. But the type of world we live in, there is sin. It's inevitable, right? Right? It's inevitable, right? So we got to go out here and be the example. We got to go out here and be the people to create massive action. Remember, your idea means nothing. Your excitement means nothing. Your enthusiasm means nothing. The only thing that means something is your work and your work ethic and your massive action. I told somebody the other day, I said, listen, you don't have to, your laziness is not quiet because your results are not making noise. I don't have to see you not doing the work because your work isn't showing up. Come on. There's 4 degrees of action, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4 degrees of action. The first level is doing nothing. The first level of action is doing nothing. Sitting at home, scratching your butt, scratching your socks because they're too tight around your ankles, right? I'm so silly, I'm sorry, right? We all use the 4 levels in our lives, right? Some of us may take massive action in success, but we may do nothing in our relationship. Some of us take massive action in our relationships, but do nothing in our desire for success. Different areas of our life get more attention than the other, right? No action, doing nothing in all areas of your life. You've given up. You've accepted where you are. You've accepted that whatever comes your way, you just gonna go with the flow. You just like a little corkscrew from a wine bottle. You land into a river and you just go with the flow. You just go with the flow. Whichever direction is going, you're going, right? And then eventually you just cease to exist. You cease to exist. Even doing nothing requires energy. Being bored requires energy. Having no purpose requires energy. Being overlooked, deciding to work less requires energy. Being underappreciated because it requires you to think. It requires you to have a strategic way of thinking of why I'm not going to apply myself today. Right? I don't know if anybody has ever been sick and you've ever been weak and you've ever felt like, you know what, I just can't make it. Well, it takes a lot to talk. Or have y'all been so sleepy, somebody come and wake you up? You pissed off, somebody done woke you up out your sleep. Maybe it's a phone call or somebody knocking on your door and they want to talk to you as soon as they wake you up. And you like, hey, anybody ever been like that before? You don't feel like talking yet. It requires energy. That's why people, when they're sick and in a hospital and different things of that nature, they need people to rest because it requires energy for all of your funky breath to come out of your body, right? It requires energy for you to talk. Okay, so you got to get out of the phase. You got to get out of the phase of doing nothing, because doing nothing just pretty much, to me, this says that you have neglected the abundance that God has on your life. You have neglected the things that God has placed inside of you to create true wealth and true abundance. And wealth ain't always about money. Wealth is about the internal, right? What can you take on? Do not be a person who takes the maximum effort to do nothing, right? Don't be that person. It takes energy to look at games. It takes energy to look at TV. It takes energy to look at movies and sit around the house. There's nothing wrong with doing that, right? People will say they're happy and they're content by doing nothing, but I see that you're not even using or living up to your full potential. You're using that as an excuse. Don't use, I'm good. Nah, bro, I don't got to do that. Nah, that's lame. Don't use those words. Get out here and live your life to the fullest. Get out here and claim what God has put inside of your spirit. See, a lot of things can't even birth inside of you because you're too busy birthing everything else around you that has no value. You can't get poured into you because you keep dumping nonsense. You keep dumping. And it's okay. Go out here, party, drink, whatever it is you want to do, but don't allow that to be the only thing you do. What are you celebrating? Doing nothing? Right? You're basically wasting the chances that God gives you every single day. Some people don't even realize it's a new sunset because they live in the same day over and over and over again. They spinning on the wheel, right? Spinning on the wheel. Don't even recognize it's a new sunset because you think every day looks the same. You don't even realize you've been given another chance, right? And sometimes we have experiences in our life. We have, some people experience depression. Some people experience abuse and different things of the nature that causes them to be shut out from the world. But once you get delivered and set free, or when you get delivered and you wake up and not be the average person, you'll start to see like, oh my God, you'll be grateful for a new sunset. You'll be grateful for the fact that your alarm went off again at 7:00 this morning. See, some of y'all are so used to stuff going in a certain direction. You feel like it's just a normal way that life is supposed to operate. right? You miss the fact that you've been given another chance. Doing nothing is the first level of action. Okay. The second level is retreat. Basis that doing nothing and retreating is the basis for failure. Okay. Doing nothing and retreating is the basis for failure. How so? Retreaters, they do actions in reverse, right? They got their the reverse lights on all the time. Every single time you turn, you're trying to have a conversation with them, and you hope that they take a leap of faith and they do things. This is what kills me, is that how people can allow so much of the flesh to operate instead of their faith to operate. So you wouldn't be doing nothing, and you wouldn't be sitting around in reverse and retreating if you allowed your faith to guide you. If you trusted God to already have the path laid. He says, I am the beginning and the end. I've already created what you need to do. It's already there. You want this trading account. You want this success. You want to manifest this business. You want to have this body. You want to have this relationship. It's already there, but you got to pour the right information into yourself. You got to continue to show up. Faith without works is dead. That sounds so cliche, but it's so literal. It's so simple, but people continuously miss it, right? People who retreat, they avoid confrontation. They avoid negative experiences. And I mean, it could be something so small, but instead of them learning how to learn from that experience, they take it as off, oh my God, I don't want to feel that anymore. It hurts. Who cares? If you continue to go and get you some of this good sauce, pain won't be that present in your life, right? If you teach yourself how not to be scared, scared is nothing but a trained condition, a trained thought anyway, right? If everybody was born to not be afraid of the dark, you only are afraid of the dark because somebody told you they was afraid of the dark and you heard it so many times. So when you walk outside, you walk around like, you are scared of thunder and lightning because somebody said, ah! So you've adapted their reaction. Some of y'all are not even living in yourself. You living in somebody else's reactions and emotions, right? Some of y'all are sponged shells. You're operating in somebody else's conditioned thinking, and you've adapted that thinking. And now, so you don't even really know who you really are. Think about it. I dare you all to sit home one day and question some ways you think. Question why you react. Question why you chose this. Question why you made this decision on your life. Question. Say, did I really choose that? Or is it the people around me had placed that in my spirit? And I began to adapt to the same way they think. I began to adapt to the same way they react. Right? It's deep, y'all. Y'all got to think about that. Right? Retreaters are not pleased by their previous efforts. So retreaters will try something for a second, and when it gets too hot, they jump away. Right? They get scared. They get scared at the sign of temporary failure. They get scared at the sign of temporary, just a temporary challenge. So instead of them having the right information that gave them the right foundation, right? Knowing God is the truth and the light, and that they're going to be able to surpass any situation in their life. But you got to go through the desert. You got to go through the situation, right? Sometimes we got to go through desert experiences so we can get to the well. There's some things you got to learn. There's some grit that he's trying to put inside of you, some resistance, some resilience, some perseverance. Are you going to come after me, or are you going to chase after what you think you should do best for you? See, when you think for yourself, your thoughts are flawed, but when you think with God, he's going to give you the direction you need, right? Retreaters are not pleased with their previous results. They don't like the fruit, right? Instead of them being consistent to the fruit, the right fruit shows up, guys, at retreat. They don't really know how to stick it out. Again, that's still a foundation for failure. Again, people come in 30-day entrepreneurs. Man, I'm going to learn how to try. I had this one girl, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. For the first, out of all the people I've ever talked to, this girl had been chasing me for months. For months. She joins and signs up to learn how to become an investor. Probably about 3 or 4 days later, I noticed that she's not there anymore. And I said, hey, so-and-so, is everything okay? She said, yeah, you know what? I found myself learning how to trade all day. It was taking up too much of my time. And I said, Brittany, hold all your sarcasm in and try to give her the right response, because you learn at your own speed. You choose your own schedule. Nobody put a gun to your head and say, you better learn all this in 3 days, right? That didn't make sense to me. No, what was happening was she had the mindset that I'm going to cram this in And if it doesn't work, I'm going to retreat. Well, you haven't given it enough time to even work and manifest. How can you even know? See, a lot of us, we choose these different paths and goals and desires based off of excitement, based off enthusiasm, instead of basing it off of commitment. When you have a lifetime objective, you should never be deterred away from it. If it's something that's really true, a desire from your heart, see, don't get caught up in making money. That's not what this is about. It's never about that. Money is a tool. Money is just a byproduct of what can happen truly in your life. But when you're really chasing something and it's grit and it's just buried deep inside of you, then you won't deter away from it. Why you think Jeff Bezos is a billionaire? Amazon is killing it because he's continuously taking massive action. He's continuously trying to create new innovative ways to do things. He's continuously putting you in Amazon in front of your face every single day, right? Uber, right? I know about Lyft, but I see more of Uber, so Uber triggers in my mind. I'm down here in Georgia. There's two governor runners, Kemp and Abrams, where Abrams marketing is off the chain. Every time I cut my phone on, every time I'm driving down the street, I got a thing on my door every single day. They're knocking on the door, right? You got to take massive action. Retreaters are conditioned to think a certain way. You're told, no, you can't do it. You can't have it. You won't ever have it. Right. And so you hear that over and over and over again. And so you start to assume you can never advance in your life. You can never improve. Anybody in your life right now, if you feel that you've been stuck at a retreater level, I want you to throw that away tonight. I want you to go by the trash can and I want you to just shake yourself off like this. I want you to stand by the trash can and shake it off and get rid of it. It's not your fault that you are conditioned to think a certain way, but now it's your responsibility because you are now aware that you possibly have been a victim of it. And you got to shake yourself free from it. You got to break the chains free from it, right? Retreaters assume they can't advance and improve. Everything sucks. They complain. They're pessimistic. They can't grow. They can't get through anything. It's okay. You just got to start changing your language. Start speaking better words. If you start choosing that negativity doesn't exist, then it won't exist in your life. See, you'll comment, you'll interact with it because it may be in somebody else, but everything is a choice. Everything is a choice. You can have somebody come and just run up to your face and cuss you out. What if you just say, you know what? I'm going to pray for you and I pray that everything is well. I don't know what's going on, what has been planted inside of you to allow you to operate at that capacity, but it's really, really, it's not a good look, right? It's not a good look. So I pray that you can conquer whatever weeds have been planted in your life. I pray that you can do that. Type number 3, normal action. Normal action is majority of the world. How so? We've been taught to do the same things over and over again. That's the normal way to live, right? Your parents cuss you out. You better go to college. You better get a degree. You better work a job for 60 years until you leave. No, that's average. That sucks. I had so many older people tell me all the time, go out here and just get what you desire. You only get this one chance. You got to operate today as if whatever it is you want shows up today. Shout out to my mentor, Riyad Jones. He said, yo, Britt, we set dates, we set deadlines for different things, but when all actuality, God said it's already done today. You can prepare, you can set a deadline, but sometimes what you set a deadline for can arrive today, right? Well, the average person, right? This is most of the world. This is the most dangerous area because it's considered the most acceptable. Living an average life, being normal, taking normal action is the most dangerous area because it's considered the most acceptable. They spend most of their life taking action to create and appear having a normal life, having a normal marriage, having a normal career, right? How many of y'all was in that boat before? You spent some of your life trying to have a normal life, a normal career, a normal relationship, but really there was so much more inside of you that could be manifested on a bigger scale. See, if you would have decided to continue to to take, what is what being a, when you relationship wise, you can be the best spouse, the best partner by developing the 5 levels of intelligence, your physical form. I think it's really selfish of people who bring harm to their body when in a relationship. I think that's really selfish, right? I think it's selfish when I'm in a financial predicament and I'm trying to do better for my life, but you won't rise to the occasion. And so I'm trying to drag you because I love you that much that I don't want to let you drown, but you're killing me. You're allowing me to drown too, right? You got to develop your emotional intelligence. You got to develop your financial literacy, your health, your physical, your spiritual, right? Your mental. You got to develop these things. But if you keep them at a normal scale, not reading the books, right? Not manifesting what it is that you desire, not tapping into your belief, not tapping into your faith. When you decide to do what everybody else is doing, which is typically nothing, right? Then you stay where you are. People keep me running around here complaining. How many people y'all done seen complain so much and you be one just telling them, please shut up. Like, please be quiet, right? But you just still just want to be there for that person. So you just keep holding your tongue. It's a nice way to tell people it's time to level up. It's a nice way to tell people it's time to change your life. It's time for you to change your words. You've been telling me this same sad story for 5 years. You've been living in the same situation for 3 years. When does it have a deadline? See, we put deadlines on success and living our best lives, but we don't put deadlines on misery, pain, negativity, mess. We let it carry over every single day. Every single day, people in these horrible relationships, people have been traumatized, people are going through so much things. Don't get me wrong, it's so much pain out in this world. But how in the world do you roll over negativity, but don't roll over your freedom? You give up on your freedom before you give up on a relationship with somebody cheating on you. How the hell do you have that much commitment to negativity, but you don't have that much commitment to positivity, to freedom, to financial freedom, to enhancing your life? It blows my mind. It's so much peace this way, right? When you have so much stress, I don't know if y'all know, but stress is literally a secret killer. Blood pressure, high blood pressure is literally called the secret killer because you're dealing with negativity at work. You want to put your coworkers in their place. You are tolerating somebody who's mistreating you, who's cursing you out, who's speaking to you like you poo on the ground. You having somebody who's not respecting you in a relationship, but you're so desperate because you don't want to be alone that you're going to tolerate being alone next to somebody. Come on, y'all. Y'all can't be out here living these normal lives, accepting these things to be the norm. Spending your life creating action to create and appear having a normal life, marriage, and careers. Never doing more to create real success. Normal people never do more to create real success. Think about it. How many people look like they're doing the same thing over and over again? Once they've gotten the house, once they've had the child, once they've gotten a degree, and once they've settled into something, they no longer seek anything else because they think what they've sought was extraordinary, but what they were seeking was average, right? You have been played. The biggest trick has been played on us all, but we got to wake up and take advantage. I'm not downing jobs. I'm not downing none of that. I'm just letting you know, don't you just settle for being average. What's coming behind your name when we speak about you? Zoria, Candace, Chelsea. What follows your name when somebody talks about you? Cody, Devon. What follows your name? Oh yeah, man, he working at Office Max. He been there for like 10 years. He good. We've been telling that same 3 sentences for 10 years. You got a 3-liner bio. Oh yeah, she the manager at Walmart. She got the kids, everything cool. A year later, how you been, man? You still at Walmart? Yeah, man, I'm still at Walmart taking care of the kids. Cool. Why is that your same story? Stop it. And I'm not saying, guys, do the best at where you're at, but create more. When you've allowing last year's story to be your present story, you have not progressed. When you are still telling the same story, oh man, back in 1999, man, I was like a millionaire, man. I had this, I had that. Okay, well, nigga, I'm sorry. That was 20 years ago. What have you done in 20 years? Let's talk about today. What are you manifesting in your life? What are you pouring with information? Are y'all hearing me? Are y'all feeling what I'm saying? Don't be average. If you're getting some value, drop some ones in the chat box. If you don't even know how to access your extraordinary, your confidence, your power, your belief, you better walk around here pretending until it becomes a habit and truly who you are, right? If you're scared to do this, you better act like you're not scared, because one day you're not going to really be scared. It's really going to become a reality, right? The normal people, as long as average works, is fine. Then one day, like I said, tragedy occurs, a market changes, the economy do something crazy, and now you finally see that you are at risk, because you just like everybody else in the world. We wouldn't have not experienced a recession if people would have just did their best actions. Well, you just want to give anybody and everybody a house, where if you would have really took that thing seriously and increased the requirements and did what was right and noble with integrity, morality, half of these people wouldn't experience losing a house. And if those people who lost a house would have increased their action, they would not have been a victim to the recession. Everything is a decision. Everything is literally a decision, right? So stop being the victim to your poor decisions. Put that on social media. Stop being a victim to your poor decisions, right? You got to rise up. You got to level up, right? As long as it's working, it's fine. Something happens, you're at risk. You're still susceptible to challenges, even if you have the house on the hill with the dog in the front yard. Less than extraordinary, right? Being normal is still less than extraordinary. It's an alternative description to nothing and retreating. Being average and being normal is an alternative description to doing nothing and to retreating. Ultimately, you never draw the necessary action required to catapult your success. Ultimately, you never draw the required action to catapult your success. So, which category do you want to fall in? 1, 2, or 3, or you want to be category 4, right? You want to be a category 4 hurricane up in this thing. How many of y'all want to be the person who takes massive action? If you want to be a massive action, put a 4 in the chat box. Let's see where you fall. You 1, 2, 3, or 4. 4 being where you never fall to doing nothing. 4 where you never fall to retreating. 4 to never where you fall to being average, right? It might sound far-fetched, but it requires the same amount of action that requires to do nothing. How so? Because massive action is just you doing the same thing more times, right? Let's take this. Somebody who's greedy, all right? We eat the same amount, we eat the same food, but you just outdo me in your intake, right? What happens next? Health issues start to fall in place. Your actions are always going to have a ripple effect, whether they're good actions or whether they're bad actions. Either way, you can take massive action. The key is, are you taking massive action towards the right thing? Are you taking massive action watching TV? You're an expert TV watcher. Are you taking massive action watching Netflix and binging? Are you taking massive action scrolling social media? I wish there was a timer and really clock people how much time they waste scrolling social media. See, if you're not on there to get you some quick value, first of all, have your notifications going off for only the people that are going to pour into your life. My notifications go off only for a few people. Secondly, get your value and get off. See, I know if you sometimes we can get stuck. We can be like scrolling, copy and paste, forward it to somebody, right? You can be sitting there stuck for 30 minutes, getting stuck on social media when you could have poured 30 minutes of value into your life that could have manifested a discovery that has been planted inside of you and birthed a new idea that could have took you to millions. They could have took you to wealth. They could have took you to fortune. They could have took you to generations of wealth, right? Massive action. Non-stop massive action is the key, all right? That don't mean you go out here and overexert yourself. That don't mean you go out here and fall out and pass out because you're trying to prove a point. See, God's grace is sufficient. He's already completed whatever it is that you desire. The desires of your heart. He's going to give you the desires of your heart. So the minute you desire something, it's already done. It's already done. I learned a lesson today. I have a severe extreme work ethic, right? Well, me doing 25 calls a day versus 90, it doesn't matter how many. Because what happened is, as soon as I desired that I am a chairman 10 and I wrote it down 100 times, it's already done. But what I want to do is allow my subconscious mind. See, God has already done his part. This is what I want y'all to catch. See, God has already taken his massive action because it's already done. But on your end, you got to continue to do your massive action, not only so you can deserve, so you can help people to see that your belief is real and that things will manifest when you truly believe. But when you just simply desire, just like they said, the faith the size of a mustard seed, guys, you ain't gonna get extra grace and extra. It's already done. It's already done. So when somebody is out here questioning why you working so hard and why you so committed, you might need to have a season of separation. If they're taking you to a place where they're pulling you back in their weight and they're trying to terminate your desires and your goals and your dreams and your commitment level, you need to have a season of separation. You need to, because it's required. You don't want to be like them. You don't want to have that average. If they even speaking that type of language, that already tells you they got an average mentality, right? They've probably been stuck in the same situation, the same place, the same excuses, the same complaining, right? The same brokenness, right? You got to opt in. You got to make it your obligation. You got to make it your responsibility to create this generational success and generational wealth for your family, for yourself, for God. It's disrespectful when you don't go out here and really manifest all the great things that you have. He's made us in his image, so you're capable. You just got to believe. See, it doesn't matter how talented, skillful you are. It don't matter how many calls you make. It don't matter how many trades you make. If you don't believe you can achieve it, it ain't going to happen. It's not. You can literally go out here and outwork me. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Because I believe, the universe is going to bring those desires towards me. But because you don't believe, but you just going to try to figure it out along the way, the doors are not going to open. You got to believe, and you got to take massive action, right? You got to believe, and you got to take massive action, okay? A lot of people are going to call you different names. They're going to call you, crazy, obsessive, greedy, never satisfied, a maniac, overly driven. They're going to call you these names. But the one name they need to be calling on is Jesus. So when somebody want to talk bad about you, just say, I hope one day you can stop calling those names and actually call Jesus' name. Because maybe he'll present something you need so you can take your life to the next level, right? You're never going to have somebody who's more successful than you to say what you're doing. I'm sorry, you're never going to have someone who has less success than you to say you're taking massive action. If you got somebody who's not taking massive action, those are the only people that are going to be saying it. But if you got somebody who's always successful and you're trying to even get to their place, they're going to say you're doing an amazing job. You're doing what's required. You're doing what's necessary, right? You got to take the necessary massive action. I pray you guys increase it. Write down your plan. Write down your goal. Know the numbers. Don't get so excited off your enthusiasm and your idea, but know what work is required. When you know what work is required, I want you to double, triple, quadruple. I want you to 10x your work. All right? If you can't even afford to 10x your work because of time right now, at least double your work, because you'll still be ahead of the average person. All right? I hope you guys got some value tonight. Remember, 4 levels of action. Number 1 is doing nothing. Number 2 is a retreater. Number 3 is being average, right? The normal person. And number 4 is taking massive action. I pray y'all get your little four on your chest, take off and do what you got to do. I love you guys. Thank you for joining us on tonight, Generational Wealth Master Keys to Success. Please share this call with somebody else, because we can be a blessing to somebody else next Tuesday night, right? Don't be weak. Don't retreat. Don't give up. Don't quit. Be consistent. Believe, 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 believe. Nothing is special about your idea. The only thing that's special is that you know that God has already completed it, and you will continue to do the necessary work until its arrival. And even if you don't make it to your date or your deadline, that doesn't mean you failed. Don't give deadlines. Don't give deadlines a, a date for failure. That's not what that is. That means you just got to keep going. And really, you can just get to the point where you say, you're going to keep doing that action until it just shows up. That's when you got real belief. When deadlines don't even matter because it's already done. It's already done. You got to know it. You got to know it's already been done. It's sitting there waiting for your arrival. If you keep looking in the right direction, keep doing the same disciplines, double your work, triple your work, quadruple your work, 10x your work, you're going to get there. You may not be in the time you think you should get there because you've created an underestimated date. All right. Your date might be underestimated. Think about that too. Okay. So have the right excitement, but know where work is required. All right. You all have an amazing night. I'm going to hush this time. All right. If y'all got some value tonight, drop whatever you want in the chat box. I don't care if you didn't like it, put you didn't like it. Tell me what I need to do better next time. I love feedback. You guys get out here and watch the votes. I hope whoever you wanted to win wins in your area. And be blessed. All right. We are officially over with. See y'all next week.